Oh, yeah, let's do it. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Manic Monday here on the big show. Fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere. With your boy. With your fucking boy. Big Johnny Stud, yo. Coming to you worldwide. Brooklyn, New York, as always. Coming out that damn chair as always. Ready to do the damn thing. Follow me up on Twitter at John Lagaza Flow. Sharper than a razor. Same handle over on Substack. You can also now comment on the show on YouTube. Look at me. Welcome to the fucking new millennial. So you can get to me in real time. Last time there were a bunch. That was pretty cool. If that happens again, I'll circle back and get them at the very end. If you comment, I will answer. I'm not popular enough to be big time and anybody like that. Check out the handles, check out the work over at Substack. $2 a week gets you 5 pence of shit in a 2-pound box. We are rocking and rolling around the clock. Remember, the door swings both ways. Few people reached out, asked me for individual hitter stats, and poof, there you go. They're up today. I was able to translate last year's into this year's pretty easily. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles, but it's definitely going to be useful, and it'll definitely be thorough, as always. Kind of how we roll, nuance and context, pouring out your damn nose, right? If anything, you're leaving here learning something. All right, enough of that shit, right? Are you fucking tired of hearing me fucking show for myself? It sucks so bad, but you got to support good people, do good work. Don't be a fucking cheap motherfucker. All the good things that you want to, like, are gone. So enough of my fat fucking face. Best part of waking up. The pitching sheets in your mug, bro. Who is doing it like us? Up before you are, everyday formatted. Plus, you have a sortable version of this. This is for view only, get an idea. Matchup stuff really helps with the thought process. And then again, you could sort for your K-props and all that other shit. Remember, everything formatted, little OCD style. One afternoon game today. We're going to skip that one. We'll mention it at the end, keeping an eye on the commuter crowd. After that, it's a full slate, so we better get fucking going. I'm going to try and be a little more brief, I swear. I could do a 4-hour show. I end up taking way too long on the first crop of games and then being way too short on the other because I just can't get out of my own way, and nobody wants 2 hours worth of fucking content. So here I go, running the big mouth again. Let's try and work it backwards. I was trying to use this when I hung out with our guy Kyle and Sam at the Source Network. I don't, it's a 3-man show. I don't have all the time I have with you wonderful people. So I have to be brief. When I say working backwards, starting instead of with the pitching, which I love so much, starting with the algo page and working back, right? Sometimes there's not much. We don't like it and we don't need to spend all the time, but I do love it. Also, keep an eye out. The hitter pages, right? The team hitter sheets are starting to take form. And though team stabilization doesn't happen as fast as hitter stabilization, we're starting to get there. We're starting to see what these teams are all about, at least out of the box in terms of discipline. That's the stuff that we're going to be looking for if we're looking for anything in 2026. So let's do the damn thing, of course. Then the hitter sheets I mentioned, you get the implied team totals, daily SP ranks, and last year's stuff. There's fantasy baseball waivers. There's that graphic up. A little bit of freaking everything for the kiddies. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to add $2 worth of value to your week. Feeling pretty good about that. First comment is in. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to let them build up. I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do and get fucking distracted, man. So first up, it's my boy, the Torch, Jack Leiter, on the bump for the Rangers, down in B-More to face the Basset Hound and the Blackbirds in orange vests. Plus 113 for Leiter, minus 117 on the O side. Right, feels pretty close. I'm way under the total here. And I'm cross-checked with weather. Let me double-check it again. There's some weather blowing out. That total bumped up. Maybe I could add a touch to that total, but it wouldn't be too much because I know I have a little bit in. It looks like the wind spiked a little bit from when I looked. Man, my gut is to the under here. But again, I'm going to make sure I circle back. Man, it's funny. I don't have the fucking gusto I used to. When I used to be so far under, I'd smash first and ask questions later. Now as I'm getting older, I kind of want to take another look because again, this it feels like a little bit of a miss. Again, I wonder if I maybe exported data improperly. I'm pretty sure I like Lighter and Bassett more than the market. Let me leave up those really quick. Again, I promise not to get distracted. Let's just take a look really quick. I mean, both of these guys are probably tougher on a per inning basis than we give them credit for. Lighter's had some trouble with the command and control. That's looked like it's clean up in the spring. Again, spring, it is what it is. So I think people are jumping on last year's stuff. Bassett's always been pretty tough. And then, neither one of these teams is really hitting right now. Not that it can't happen today, but I gotta scratch my chins here. But I'm going to circle back just because I'm so uncomfortable being so far to the under. Like, I'm actually surprised I didn't see that before print. I might have actually updated the F5. Might have went from 4.5 to 5. That's what I think happened. I think I might have opened at 4.5 and moved to 5. And now what would have just been like, oh, I'm a little bit to the under is like, wow, I'm like on the under. So I'm going to mark that with a star and probably come back. As far as the money line goes, I've got Texas playing him close. I mean, I could see taking the F5 here. Of course, the first action I took yesterday, I had some strong money line winners. Funny, a few of them actually turned it around, right? Miami was down early and they got the walk-off dub. You don't want to tout that, but, they got there. And maybe another one or two even, but the Braves was the letdown. Holmes looked so sharp, again, in the spring, and I liked him coming in, right? It doesn't like I'd never heard of him and didn't pan out, but such is life. That's why I like to wait at least 7 to 10 days into the season before I really go live. I kind of advise it to everybody. Just, check your work, and unless you feel like you have a clear edge, then you should bet that. Like those things always, matter. So I'm pulling kind of a fence sit on this one. Though I got to be honest, I do kind of like the Texas F5 ML. Sorry, I don't like to write on people's sheets. I'm writing on my own. And then I think I'm just going to move on from there. I think the offense is probably a wash. I think Lighter is pretty close. Again, Bassett a little long in the tooth, but the Texas offense, when they're facing a righty and have their lefty sticks, and while like Seager is healthy, I'm actually high in them, but like, I could get down with that. I wanted to double check this Lighter spring stuff, and that was the whole thing. It's been the command and control. He's just not walking anybody, and that's always been the bugaboo for him. And when he's not walking guys, it's really wheels up. We kind of had the same thought yesterday for Joe Boyle. Again, just names to keep out for, 8 names to keep an eye out for, I should say. All right, let's move on to the next one. 2 guys I really like. I was really high on coming in. So again, I'm low. Even on the F5 U4, I would love to get that one at 4.5. I don't think we're going to get that with Burns and Braxton Ashcraft on the mound. I was kind of hoping, considering we're in Cincinnati, but the weather is not really where it's carrying us there yet. What do we got? 74. It's not really humid. Wind's also blowing in pretty heavy from center left. So the name of the game here, of course, is the 2 youngsters that I mentioned. Let's take a quick look. Show off the sheet. Braxton Ashcraft. Again, quick note. The numbers that I have are as a starter. I'm not comfortable mixing starter and reliever numbers. The workload is different. The pitch mix oftentimes ends up being different. Sometimes even the velocity stuff ends up being different because of the, effort load. You know what I mean? So everything, like a guy like Ashcraft probably has different total numbers on Fangraphs, or like you may have in case they do look different. I don't want you saying, oh, what the fuck. So you get Braxton Ashcraft, 69 and 2/3. He went 271, 125 surface combo. Now, I know 125 whip's a little high for a 271 ERA, but, right, that big shaking ass. All the indicators are at 3.6 or below. You get great velo, you get good swing and miss. There's strikeout stuff. And again, I want to highlight the command and control. Let's highlight where I think our data sticks out. One of the things you want to pay for, ball rate over walk rate. I mean, even if you were to scrape that data and do the work, wouldn't you pay somebody $2 a week just to do that? Like I would. So I think the more I use these tools, I just think they're wildly underpriced. So support good people doing good work. Again, Ashcraft struggled to get ahead, but everything else was really good, right? Command control, inducing chases, tons of ground balls. This is a fucking tough customer, man. Really tough customer. You can see quick flip over. That's why I like the sheets. Again, remember the leftmost column is game order. So you sort the leftmost column A to Z. No, it's not like rankings or anything. It's game order. So if you sort A to Z, it links with the starter matchups and all the matchup stuff. In line, you go back and forth, right? I talk fast. We think fast. We need to be able to analyze fast. You can't take all day. Where is this number? Where you need to have this shit on the front of your brain. That's part of the fucking key to doing baseball analysis and handicapping this shit is keeping up with the fucking constant tsunami of information. Anyway, Reds offense kind of sucking right now. 204, team batting average 629. OPS, they're striking out a ton. They're being too passive and not hitting the ball hard. Pretty good combination until they get it fucking rocking. I'm going to give the upper hand to Ashcraft. And we all know about Chase Burns, C. Montgomery Burns. Excellent. It's fucking awesome. Yo, when this kid is healthy, he is a legit fucking superstar in the making. Ignore the 4.57 ERA. When you think an ERA is out of whack, even if the whip is high, take your work over to the 3 legs of the luck stool. Yo, you can tell I'm starting to like hit the groove, right? We're starting to fucking the fucking Cadillac, yo. Revving that bitch up. You want to look at it's not the cool things luck. But when the stool is wobbly, 64 left on base, 360 BABIP, 12 homer fly ball, that's ridiculous, right? You're not going to rack those again. He had a 276 expected ERA. Claude, not as much in love. But the four-seamer is great. The strikeout stuff is ridiculous. He works up in his zone. Again, will be more of a problem when the weather gets hot. And he's going to get the Pittsburgh offense who... I mean, look at this. This is terrible, right? Maybe bottom 3. Also, remember the stats you see are formatted 10th and 90th percentile. So it doesn't matter if it's like actually bottom 3 or bottom 4. That bright is the bottom, right? Because you could be only the 10th. Well, they're the 10th best. But the 10th best could be all the way at the bottom, and the other 10 could be fully separated, right? So there are certain filter queens that use this shit improperly, and whether or not they get lucky in a very small sample is very misleading, to say the least. So let's get back into it. Pirates offense not great. Big time ground balls. They don't pull. They're not hitting it hard. They have a 1% barrel rate so far. Still trying to find the stick. 253 ex-Woba. I got upper hand to all the pitchers. Give me the fucking under in this one, man, right? I think we already did. Oh, working backwards. Look at me. I totally forgot. Algo says. Sorry, I got to bury my drinks of water behind sound effects rolling solo around here. Man, going under the 4 kind of sucks. If the full game is 8, though, which it looks like we might be getting, I'd rather go under the full game 8. And I know that goes against a little bit of what I talk about, how I like to go under F5 and over full games to expose myself to the ghost runner and shit. That stupid fucking rule. But in this case, the favorite is at home. We've got them modeled for a win, in line with the books. So you lose the half a frame, and I think we got it. If Pittsburgh really got to Cincinnati, maybe we're in trouble anyway. So I'm going to mark this one on mine. Oh, hold on one second. I got to make my life easier for myself. 1 second. Because I'm going to move these show picks over for you guys as soon as I'm done. I know not everybody listens to the show. Shame on you. But even when I'm not posting picks, people are interested in the takes. So I created show picks, right? The analysis I come up with as we're doing it. And that'll give you an idea. Also, sometimes it'll help you to kind of read the model and see like where we're at, or at least give you another, opinion on a very complex puzzle. So Give me the under 8 on Ashcraft v. Burns and moving on. Next up, it's the Winged Lion, Foster Griffin, going for the Nacionals, leaving the nation's capital, heading down to Broad Street to face Taiwan Johnny Walker, fighting Phils. Plus 150 for the Nats, minus 163. It was only a matter of time before we started. I'm trying to clean off the fucking stench of losing on those favorites yesterday. I feel like shit after that. It was only a matter of time before the model started to like some underdogs. I have this for an outright. We haven't seen Griffin yet. So maybe that's putting the cart before the horse, right? This is a piece of data I would want to see first. One way to juke against that would be, I got to check, see, I lost this part of my process. I'm going to add it back in. The 3.5 team totals, right? We want to be aware of what teams have 3.5 team totals, right? They might have raw projected mean outcomes that are not impressive, but if the line is 3.5 and not 4.5, it might be something that we're interested in depending on the price. DK used to make this really easy to find as we go. If you've noticed this, a lot of sharp people I know are talking about this. There are more options and they're all harder to find. So like the book will offer more things to spread out their risk, but they're making it really hard to shop single markets in case there are people like us who tend to step on, some gold every once in a while. They don't want to get their fucking backs broken. It takes forever. Just to find this shit. So let's see. Washington. How about this? This is another one I fucking know, which I don't get. Okay, minus 135, 3.5. So, man, I have them a shade over 4. I thought I had them as the other one, 4-3. I had them a shade over 4. So maybe this one ain't it. However, that reminds me of another thing. Shout out to our guy, Jason, who was using the model to identify projected totals over 4 for baseline book totals of 3.5, taking it down an alt run when you're on the road, right? You're getting the 9 frames. So if we I kind of like Washington to get the 4. I think we love them, right? I think we fucking love them to get the 3. A million ways to skin the cat without scratching his asshole. We're going to be talking tons of processing. I'm not trying to send anybody in the wrong direction. I'm not live right now. I'm just chilling. So I get to kind of enjoy stabilization and fire off stupid dollar parlays that are, losers before my fat ass hits the fucking couch. So what do we know about Griffin? Do we know anything about this fucking guy? I try to do the best I can. I provided some NPB stats, but even those, that and $3 will get you on the bus. We do want our guys overseas to dominate. He did. Right, 162.95 ERA whip combo, command, control, doing everything. Is it going to roll over into the big leagues? I'm not sure. Maybe this is another player that we care a little bit about spring training stuff. Just to see, how did he look? I don't even know how he looked. 450, 125, command control was good, ground baller, kind of pitch to contact stuff. So I don't know if I want to get funky and go Nats to win. I'd probably go Nats to score, right? Because you're taking your fate in your hands a little bit, pitching to contact to the Padres. Walker, fully attackable. You see blue metrics across the board. How about the offenses out of the box? Washington's been okay, a bit sloppy as far as discipline, but that's not really Walker's game. So you have to get the stick on it. Maybe they're okay. I don't think the Phillies have faced enough lefties. They faced the most lefties, but it's not really matter. They've been terrible against lefties so far. Their front end of the Phillies lineup has not gotten it going. I don't know if that boosts Griffin. Maybe today is the day to get it going, right? I like to be very honest and not be too determinative and sure of myself, because there is a lot of uncertainty now. As more data rolls in, the algo gets smarter, as do we, and then we'll start fucking firing off where we have some edge, or at least perceived. So yeah, I think I'm on. I think it's probably a Nats total, though maybe depending on the price, the F5 might be calling my name. Man, you're getting minus 110 with the bonus of the half run, plus 129 on the money line, and like maybe I do like that shit. All right, let's move it on. Next up, this one feels like an over or nothing. Davis Martin on the bump for the Pale Hose, plus 117. Dog on the road down in Miami, sunny Florida, to face the Sheriff, Chris Paddock, and those funky fish. Listen, Marlins are winning games, but it's by the skin of their fucking teeth. I don't think I'm going to be paying for Paddock. A little bit different if you're paying for Yuri. Even that was a fucking throw ride. But at least you're getting a definitive edge that I'm not sure you're getting here really quick. I mean, the pitching is just not great. Neither one of these guys are really very good. Decent sample from both. They both had a +5 Sierra. Mine indicator was at least 4.5. 17K or below, 11 KBB or below, 23.5 CSW or below. Right, you're going to get a lot of contact, 88 zone contact or above. So it's contact, 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 which nowadays at least is a little bit worrisome when you're facing the White Sox, right? They're one of the sellout teams going on right now. One of the things that we talk about as we, fly around in this bowl of water or spinning around the ball of fire is in the beginning of the season, we're trying to have the data validate team archetypes. Right? We're trying to have the data validate team archetypes, kind of tell us who these teams are. And it feels like it was the Angels last year. They're also doing it again, but this is a White Sox thing. So when you hang out with us, make sure you're, like and retweet the show. And it's now on YouTube, so everybody can comment. Cork Stats over on YouTube, same handle on Substack, just all this bullshit. But we have a real sellout team here, right? What I want to say is when you roll with us, you're kind of going to pick up some lingo, and I want to be able to use it. Shorthand matters. Again, right back to the brevity, efficiency, and why time matters more than fucking just about anything else. You got the White Sox numbers. It's crazy, man. As a team, they have a 39% strikeout rate, 15 swinging strike, 79 zone contact, but 55.5 hard hit and 6 home runs and a 216 ISO. It's all or none for the White Sox. So I meant to have the team stuff up. You can see, again, why the data is so useful. Everything been a lot of stats, but not too many. Enough to build the tapestry, right? To weave the tapestry so you can, just move forward at your own pace. Again, speaking of pace, let's fucking hurry up. So this one is over or nothing for me. I was surprised to see it listed at 8. I wish I had a fucking producer because we want to check and see if the number is still 8. The number is still 8, which means I want to get money down on the total on prediction markets. Again, I've been talking about trying to capture CLV. The reason I am going live in prediction markets, one, it's a very small amount of money, but I need to track the real-time movement. It's a little different than betting, which is binary, which is kind of at the center of why I want to do this stuff. But I'm also, I'm kind of figuring out, so it's not, you son of a bitch, there's no even numbers. They're only on the half number. See, so there's another little bit that I hadn't really realized yet. Or because it's an 8, they post halves. See, I think that's what they do. They don't offer everything. So, as these new markets open and we think we might have a little bit of, edge or, me, I'm the fucking truffle bag. I smell that fucking thing. I start digging through the fucking shit. Get to the root of the tree. You don't always come up with something. So that said, standard over, right? Just give me the standard. So that last one, let's go Washington, TT 3.5. That was the last one. And this one is full game 08. And we're going to move it on. We'll look to, for Paddock to give up a fucking ding dong and then, whatever, this fucking yo-yo Martin to get fucking touched up to. I mean, I guess I should have looked at the weather before I bet an over. Wind's blowing in, but it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. So I don't know. You're going to give me 80 with humidity, low total, bad pitchers, bad bullpens, whatever. Just I'm going to go with it. Next up, it's the Rocky Roads. Tomoyuki Sagano on the bump, plus 223. Dog on the road north of the border to face the Bluebirds and Cody Ponce. Now, I could not get behind Ponce for fantasy season. He is setting the world on fire. I was going to say down there, but it's up there. I saw age 31. Guy couldn't cut it here. Goes overseas. Wasn't even always great. Then had like a really good season. And granted, it was a really good season. He shoved the last year, but it wasn't always the case. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what all these abbreviations stand for. Because it was, okay, that was the thing. Okay, I'm sorry, I did note it. He was in the NPB and was not good. Moved to the KBO and was good. This was my analysis. So hold on, let me see if I can show you the big nose so I can AI slop this on Insta so I have a fucking victory lap at some point, or I'll take the fucking L. L for love. Here was my beef with Cody Ponce. No hatred for all my Toronto brethren up there. This is a guy who struggled in the majors. Then he struggled in Japan, which is the next level of competition. Then went to Korea and shoved, which is the next one down. Now, the numbers in Korea were good enough that I would consider them encouraging, right? If somebody posted those numbers, this would be a guy that we'd at least be a little bit interested in. But I'll be honest, the overseas track record altogether is a bit nerve-wracking, but the spring stuff was awesome. That's why I wanted to blow this one up, see if I can get the victory lap, because I'm sorry, I'm taking a stand. I don't think it's going to cut it, despite the .66 ERA in the spring. I'm worried that Ponce is going to fall flat and cut that one, chop it up. I took a hard, like, zero share stance on Ponce, and we'll see. And it's not Blue Jay hatred. If he's good, we'll bet on him. I have no beef with that. But this was one of those, like, crossing narrative intersections that I really wanted to get on record. So I'm bearish on Cody Ponce. I think it all falls apart. I think it could get really, really ugly starting today. But again, we'll see. All right, let's move it on from there. So I'm on the over. I had to fucking goose the model to even get Colorado to 3.5 runs. We all know, right? The Rocky Roads are a joke. The paste-eating Rockies are a joke. Guys, I see some comments. I will get to them if you're listening. I guess I could open them. It throws me off a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it a little bit. It's gonna distract me. I'm gonna get all thrown off. I need to become a better host person handling this stuff. Plus, it's a few clicks. But if you hang into the end or come back afterwards, remember the podcast version is a little bit shorter because I condense all the fucking silence and stuff. You'll notice it's a little bit shorter. It comes out right after this. Anyway, I had to goose the model just to get the Rockies to 3.5. They were terrible last year. I didn't want last year's numbers to fully reflect on this squad because I think they've added pieces and have gotten better. And that's not worked at all. It's crazy right now. I have the Rockies year-to-date stuff up. I know it's a small sample. It's only 105 plate appearances. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a bit worse 100 plate appearance sample. Well, not only are they batting 192, 29K to just 4 walk, nearly 18 swinging strike, 40% chase. And they're not hitting the ball hard. 243 roll, 41 WRC plus. I still think the bats will wake up. I don't know when. It's hard to time it. Maybe it'll be today. Again, if Ponce goes out and shoves, I'm still going to be blaming the Rockies more than I think he's awesome. And then Suganu is a fucking gas can. Right, he had a 5.8 Sierra, 10 KBB, 24 CSW, 92 zone contact. You're going to pitch to contact to these Blue Jays. They're going to F you in the A, one of the best disciplinary approaches in the league already. So I think I have scoring. I didn't mention any bullpens yet. Oh, sorry, look up. It was alphabetical. Sort A to Z. Boom. There's your game order. I guess both bullpens have been good. Again, this is the part I care about least because bullpens are ebb and flow. I'll probably kick off the Cooked bullpen report tomorrow. Toronto Hoffman went 2 of 3. Fisher went back to back, but it was only 22 and 4 pitches, so he might go again. I didn't want to launch it yet. I'm going to start tomorrow. But because I think the bullpens at this stage are still pretty much full strength. So I'm 8.5. I think I also have a Toronto cover here. That one's a little pricey. I'm going to mark them both down, and I'm going to make my mind up later. So I've got Toronto cover. I've also got over the 8.5. I'm doing those notes on my own. Okay, let's move it on. It's the Atleticos. Jacob Lopez on the bump down in the dirty to face Bryce the Elder, my favorite character from the Shire. And the Bravos, minus 133. Bryce Elder should not be a favorite to Jacob Lopez. I know the Athletics are striking out a ton. Is that going to happen tonight? One, I don't think so. Two, I don't really give a shit at all. I don't care. I'm not going to back the Bryce Elder stuff. He's never been good. He should not have a rotation spot for this team, but they lost so many starters between Waldrip went down and, oh my God, what's his face? Schwellenbach went down. How did I almost forget my boy Schwelly? Jesus Christmas. So this feels like a public push right here. Lopez, not a bad pitcher. All the indicators are strong. 19 KBB, 66 first strike, 31 chase, 82 zone contact strong. Disciplinary bin. He does work up in the zone, but he's good at inducing pop-ups and whiffs up there. Let's take a look at the underpinning stuff. I just want to pop the hood really quick, make sure I'm not misleading myself or anybody else. I have always liked Lopez on a per inning basis. I don't know why, we don't like him. He's got good secondaries also. The slider is pretty, devastating. 299 X-Lug, 32 whip, can throw it to both-handed hitters. We love that. He also goes in the back pocket for a change-up to righties. That pitch 362 X-Lug plus 31 whiff. Give me Lopez here. I think the public is a little bit too hot on the offensive narratives. I know the Athletics have maybe been worse than the fucking Rockies maybe have been because of all the ground balls. I can't look. Oh my gosh, I can't look. Stop it, make it go away. Mercy flush, that shit. Whoa, that was just atrocious. Again, to me, give me the shortest list of pitchers you're going to bounce back against. To me, it's Bryce Elder. So I don't know, man. I can't believe how bad the A's have been out of the box, but they are hitting homers and they still own a couple bases. So maybe they get there. Have the Braves killed lefties or something? Oh my gosh. The Braves have killed, look at this. I'm doing air quotes and making stupid faces. The Braves have quote unquote killed lefties. That might be a reason that this price is where it is. The Braves are number 2 in OPS against lefties. They're 41 plate appearances. Who gives a crap? They swing and miss. They're losing in the zone. I might give Lopez the edge here. So let's check the pricing. As much as I like Lopez, he's actually closer to even on the F5, minus 135 getting the run. I'd probably just take the A's F5. I don't want to lose that juice if, the Braves lefty fucking split is a thing. Next up, it's the flat fucking fish of Florida. Nicky Martinez on the bump for the Rays. Plus 138 dog on the road against Kyle Harrison. New acquisition for the Cheesemakers. Milwaukee Brewers coming in at minus 144 at home. You can see up on the model. I've got a lot of strength for all the Milwaukee stuff, despite the offense suffering some injuries. Man, I kind of tend to like Martinez. The Rays paid him, and I was shocked. I think I someone said he's the highest paid Ray. And stronger on a per inning basis than Martinez. And I think I'd also assert that's without any kind of step forward. That was always the talk and the hope for Harrison. Remember, he's only 24. He only has 194 innings, and it's not like they've been bad. You know, they've been good innings. They've been better than average innings. Now, he had a brutal spring, but a lot of the indicator stuff is strong. You know, he had a 24 K minus BB, 13 and a half swinging strike. You'll take that. So this feels like a spot I get in trouble in. This is why, historically, I'm out the first week. Because I really like Kyle Harrison to beat Martinez and the Rays. And, you know, it doesn't always work that way. There's somebody yesterday. Oh, Brandon Sprout, right? Brandon's a good example. Brandon Sprout. Oh, it was the Brewers. Well, I kind of like the whole bounce back spot here, but anyway, it was the Brewers, right? We love Sprout. He had the great spring. Everybody's super high on him. He's getting pushed up fantasy boards. He comes out and he gets prolapsed. His anus gets pulled inside out like a fucking pink thermal sock in front of 45,000 screaming fans. So, you know, you got to be careful with all the small sample stuff, all the narrative stuff. None of it speaks to individual game events. That's the fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? That said, man, I like everything Brewers, man. I like everything Brewers. The Rays have gotten production, like they're scoring runs, but the BABIP is through the roof. The approach is good, but none of the other stuff is great. It looks a little flimsy. Brewers suffering a little bit of the same, but the approach is a lot better. More doubles, and they're stealing a lot more bases. So I'll tend to believe in a floor for a team that's manufacturing, right, more than a team that's like hitting with runners in scoring position. You know, that's the last thing I give a fudge about. So I want to say I like the Brewers offense straight up right now, but they're missing a lot of pieces. We got to be careful. Right now, it looks like projected lineup is Terang, Contreras, Yelich, Bowers. Listen, if Bowers is like legit, they're going to be good against righties, right? They're very left-handed. Terang, Yelich, Bowers, Mitchell left-handed, Frelick left-handed. Then you go Ortiz, not a great hitter. Anyway, Hamilton and Lockwood, just this offense is not good. But the Rays, neither. Right now, they're projecting Yandy Diaz, Velade, Arande, Caminero, Williamson, DeLuca, Fortes. They suck. Mullins and Carson Williams. Excuse me, I'm very sorry. Why isn't Cedric Mullins and Carson Williams batting higher? I don't know. So hold on, give me 1 second. I got to check the actual lineup. Is that what happened? No, Mullins bat third yesterday. So I'm using RotoWire projections not to drag them. Everyone is doing the best they can. This is one spot I am into small samples. If you're batting third, I'm closer to projecting batting third than I am the fifth or the eighth that he hit. Now, Williams bat eighth yesterday, so maybe they are going to bury him. He hit a home run. I just think he's a better hitter than the rest of the fucking yokels they got going on there. Let's see. Algo says... Yeah, tons of Brewer strength, like I said, and it's not that I don't believe in it after the analysis. It feels a little flimsy because of the small sample stuff, and it feels a little more predicated on Harrison being the guy I want him to be, more than maybe the guy he is. The edge calculations, you could see, once they get to that, 4 to 5, I have an eyebrow up. I'm not jumping, but I have an eyebrow up. So that's, why I'm pumping the brakes. Again, in my old age, I used to I used to be off the book and run, and more times than not, you find you probably want to be a little bit closer. And you want, when a lot of your work is close, you're close to the target, then you analyze those other ones to see if you can figure out how to get all of it closer. And then the outliers are the ones you attack, which is exactly what we're doing all in real time. So, you know what I'm saying? Man, if I had to leap, it's Brewers win, kind of bounce back spot, because I don't like the Rays. Did the Brewers come back and win? Was that the other game I was thinking of that I was on? I can't even remember anymore. It's the fucking third day of the season. My brain is already jellified. Can't believe this. So embarrassing. Yeah, it was the Brewers. They came back and win. All right, let's move it on. Next up, Ryan Johnson won a rotation spot for the Angels. They're on the road in Wrigley against my boy, Edward Cabrera, on the bump for the Baby Bears, right side of the tracks in the Windy City. Wind blowing out in Chicago, so you know what that means. Total at 9.5. Maybe I'm even a little bit low. I guess I could have boosted it again. It looks like I missed on some weather stuff today. I've been trying to not overweigh it, and it looks like maybe I overshot the mark. I'm going to have the Claude bot test out all the fucking my wind stuff. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Though, in fact, if you look at the model, it actually doesn't look like it's so much wind as bullpen, which is odd. Why the model likes these pens so much. I mean, the Cubs bullpen was fantastic last year. I do tend to like them on a per inning basis. The Angels, not so much. I think the Cubs are probably the highest scoring team today. Good time to bring up the implied team total sheet. If you're looking at the video, this is another one of the tabs every day. So this serves a couple purposes. This is very helpful for the daily specials, highest scoring team. It's also very helpful for DFS, right? These are my stack choices. Again, please be careful with decimals. You had them a 0.07. That's not how you do this. If you're a good DFS player, you already have an idea of where you want to go. And if you don't, use the numbers, then pricing in DFS, right? Because the cheaper pricing on the site will be the determining factor if the models are set. Know what I mean? All right, back to the task at hand. Me feeling like I'm a little bit low. Man, funny, I bet you I have a second version, and I bet you it's fucking much higher. No, it's not much higher. I really thought it was be much higher. All right, so I'm going to circle back for some win stuff. I'll take the L and put a V2 next to it, because right off the bat, I'm fucking worried. Johnson did win the spot, but we saw him last year, and he got destroyed. I don't think there's a ton of... All right, he was a compensation pick. He's only 23. So, I love these guys and the chance for a step forward. I mean, he had a really nice spring. He won the spot fair and square. I just worry about how it translates, I think the Cubs offense is awesome, and I think the wins... Like, maybe the model does like Johnson, actually. I was just assuming it thought he was shit. I love Cabrera... And I worry that, I don't put my thumb in the model, I just build it. I was worried it wouldn't like Cabrera as much because, again, his command and control could be bad. It was much better than we thought. 36.8 ball, so sub 37 ball, sub 8.5 walk for Cabrera. If you get that again for the full season, because the breakout didn't happen immediately, he's one of my favorite pitchers. He is filthy. This guy has ace potential, SP1, maybe not overall SP1, but top 12 SP potential in the cards for Cabrera. I think the question here is what you make of the Angels offense. You can see up on the board, Angels doing the sellout thing, but not really. I can't believe I'm going to say this. This might deserve another fucking big nose. Right now, the Angels' offense in 2026 looks much less like the Angels' offense of 2025, that sellout team that reaches and strikes out and goes all or none, trying to pull everything in the air and get it out, which we love. But it's very difficult to do that enough to be a very good offense. This year, however, yes, the Angels are striking out, but that big shaking ass. 17% walk, and more importantly, a 25.7% team chase rate. The Angels have the best chase rate in the league, to go with the best fly ball rate, to go with the best pull rate. All I'm saying is, be careful expecting this team to go back to shite. This is the first sign we're looking for, and the reason I blew this up, besides trying to pump my Instagram slop numbers. This looks like a Yankee spreadsheet. I know, I can't believe, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I know. Brakes pumped, but I'm just saying, be on the lookout for the disciplinary stuff that we always talk about as it stabilizes across the team. If they have taken on a new approach, they are still looking to elevate pulled batted ball events without reaching outside the zone, this Angel offense could be really scary. And even if the pitching sucks, who cares? We could bet on the overs. Remember, 1,000 ways to skin a cat without scratching its arsehole. All right, enough of that shit. But it's the truth, right? So Angels looking really strong. Lot to like here. You know, they're not even the swinging strike. And the zone contact, the Angels are making 85% zone contact right now. Just be on the lookout. Just be on the lookout for the breakout. So we got to be very careful when pitching a contact. But again, they do strike out, and they are a little bit patient. It's going to come down to Cabrera, right? If they're going to be looking to take walks, is he going to put them on? Going to be an interesting matchup here. Again, I'm probably still feeling a little bit low on my totals. I'm going to make that that's actually my own personal note, is I'm going to put wind. So I'm not going to make a pick here. I'm not going to go over the 9.5. Part of me was just interested to see if there was anything maybe that's sticking out. See, even that total moved to 5. So yeah, I'm out. That was classic me mistake, spending entirely too much time on a game that I just ended up with nothing on. All right, next up, Clay Holmes on the bump for the Let's Go Mets Go Metropolitans, leaving Queens, heading for the beautiful Arch in the Midwest to face Kyle Leahy and the freaking Redbirds. Goddamn devil magic Cardinals, I swear. I love it. There are some times that I'm so wrong that I almost enjoy it. And the Cardinals is one of them. And there's kind of like a weird boomer selfish reason. I'm not a fan. I've always enjoyed how they do it. You know, they don't go and overpay. They do it through discipline. They do it through drafts. They do it by being homegrown. I like that, right? I'm not backing off that. I just always think they suck, and they always find a way. In your face, Johnny. Eat that, homie, for real. Now, is Leahy going to do it or not? It's just the same. It's me copying pasting the same argument. Me being terrified of these guys. Now, Leahy had a nice season, but if I'm not mistaken, it was in relief, right? So I think I'm going to actually just check the preseason workload, right? Now, maybe less performance than workload, right? He didn't start last year. He didn't even really bulk relieve. It wasn't a flat one-inning guy, but, you know, he went over 3 innings maybe once or whatever. Okay, they stretched him out this spring. He went 4, he went 4, he went 5. He went 5 shutout, walked 1, struck out 6 in his last one. I don't have pitch counts for spring training, but yeah, it looks like Leahy is going to get a chance to do it. I'm frankly just terrified of facing The Mets, this lineup is very good, and the front of the lineup really hasn't even hit the ground running yet. You know what? Let's take a second to look at this team hitter sheet that I just added. Anybody that's just jumping on, this is brand new. Whoever asked me for it, thanks. I don't remember, but again, I'm the door swings both ways. I know it's a little bit simpler than some of the other stuff, but it's all formatted. It's got the bins, and you'll get it every day. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the split stuff. I don't know how to do that with the speed I need. Right? This isn't really all player-based stuff, but I am glad I have it because we have, again, formatted stuff, and I even put the totals so you can go and do your own. You can copy the sheets and build your own fucking stuff or your own per plate stuff. Build your own shit. Go for it. I love it. Right now, I have it formatted in alphabetical order. That's how I pull it, so we could just go down to the Mets. Right? I have it sorted by plate appearances and then teams. So, like, the front of the lineup hasn't hit. Lindor hasn't hit, and Bichette hasn't hit. It's been the back of the order kind of doing it. I think the front of the order is going to come, too. I think the Mets are going to be extremely dangerous here. Leahy, always a bit of a contact guy, and I think that's going to hurt you because the Mets, they've struggled a little bit. Let's take a look at the team offense here. Struggling a little bit, but they're not hitting it hard. They're not pulling it, right? But the Mets offense has been good. They're just not getting it at the right time. You can see they're hitting. The discipline is in check. The elevation is good. Again, the contact quality pull has been off, and it's a timing thing because the runs aren't there. Mets offense is very good. Interesting to see the Cardinals again, just doing it. You knew the discipline was going to be good, but they're even hitting for power. I can't believe yesterday I added Jordan Walker in a high-stakes home league. I cannot believe my eyes or ears, but I did. I used to be high on him, but again, he's still young. All the prospect stuff, he's kicking the shit out of the ball. I saw him hit one of those classic high EV Jordan Walker balls, but it wasn't on the ground. It was a line drive for a double, and I was like, oh, good enough for me. Add him for free, baby, before it's too late. All that to say, I've got Mets, but it's a little bit close. And I do have some scoring, but the totals are there. So I kind of have a pass on this one. Cardinals doing their thing. So roundabout way to have the devil magic come back and bite me. All right, next up, Power Ranger Suarez on the bump for the Red Laundry. Minus 113, slight favorites on the road against Lance McCullough and the Stros. I mean, why even bury the lead here? I have Boston by a fucking mile here. Really, this price has me very confused. Unless I'm a dum-dum and I printed the algo without remembering to check the markets, and it was you fuckers. It actually happens all the time, you fuckers. I put out a model, and when we're way off, you smart people that use good work are out there hammering shit. Minus 118. Minus 102. Oh, you son of a gun. Hold on, you gotta bear with me 1 second. Minus 118, minus 102, minus... All right, so did they flip, it looks like? Yeah, Boston actually flipped to the favorite. So you can forget the run line. It would have been too expensive. But I'm on the... Oh, I was going to say I want the half run. However, hear me out on this one. We may want the full game. Let's take a look at the Houston bullpen kind of falling apart, right? Not to say you're going to find the answer to that question always in these small sample stuff. I mean, they're walking 76% of batters. Everything's in the air. They've given up 5 home runs in just 18 innings. That's ridiculous. But no hater. Abreu's velo is down, and he got touched. And we might want to strike Houston while that iron is cold. King ended up getting the save and Blue Ball the win. I should have added him to that list. Blue Ball is filthy. If you're a fantasy guy, I think he might end up being the guy to get the saves. I think he might be the best pitcher back there. That's up right now. I'm a little bit worried about the Houston pen. So maybe if we're getting a better price on Boston full game, minus 118, minus 119, same fucking shit. What I was going to say was McCullers, I don't think is going to go distance, right? Lance McCullers, 5 and dive. If that, we can actually check that. I actually was going to go big nose for a lesson and forgot. But I'm going to, maybe I could do 2 birds and 1 stone here. And I just want to make sure it's posted before I open my freaking mouth. And of course it's not. And it was going to be outs allowed. If, now I got to blow it up. All right, cool. Quick lesson for the prop players out there. There's information that we're missing oftentimes. That while the definitive answer might not be available, there's a pretty good damn clue that you need to be incorporating in your work. I was just talking about Lance McCullers going for the Astros, and how even though I like Boston F5 with a pitching edge, and I would generally cut that to F5, not only do I worry about McCullers' distance, right, going far, I'm worried about the bullpen. I mentioned that. Check out the full podcast for that whole schmaz. The thing I wanted to address here was Lance McCullers' workload. It's a total mystery. Admitting that doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you a stupid person or a bad tout. But what you want to do is go check prop markets. Books, if they have any kind of information, are going to open it for you. Now, I went and checked already. It's not up. So that tells me they're absolutely worried at least about the standard 15 outs. That pushes me to want to go full game today. But the point that should stand is using that number that's listed on the book as part of your analysis when you have questions about pitcher utilization and workload. All right, another freaking bomb drop. So I'm really fucking torn. But I think I'm going to go with the ML. Usually you get a better price on the money line than you do on the full game. But the McCullers thing is just killing me. If he throws too many pitches in one inning, I feel like he could get yoked. I think they're going to be very, very, very careful with him. Ranger Suarez was fantastic last year. McCullers was gross. And though he's flashed at times, there's no way they're going to stretch this guy out. So give me Boston or give me Death. Let's try and giddy up through the end. Like I mentioned at the beginning, is just a fucking inevitability when you hang out with us. Landon Roop going for the Giants, who I really like, against Walker Buehler going for the Friar Tucks. Landon Roop is an underdog to Walker Buehler. I know the Giants' offense has just been fucking gross, but I don't trust Buehler at all. Did he have a strong spring? I feel like he jumped on late. I can't back Buehler. I got to be going, against Buehler for sure. Man, I'd like to back Roop, but I'm worried about the Giants doing just about anything. I wonder, how sad of a team total did they put on them today? Right? Could it be 2.5? Do people hate the Giants' offense enough to make them a 2.5? These are the things you have to check for, right? If you don't check, you never know. Giants are 3.5 minus 135, which isn't great. Let's see, Buehler. Oh, no, he did get 15 spring innings. I didn't realize he had a 6.5 ERA. I'm not buying at it all that. You got to give me the Giants at 5. Let's roll with Roop. The F5's only minus 102. But I want to fade Buehler hard. I like the Padres bullpen also, so let's try and get in and out on this one. We can take a look at the Roop stuff really quick. Roop. Roop-a-loop. The whip was too high for an ERA that low. But again, 73 left on base, 324 BABIP, double-digit homer fly. The luck stuff wasn't great. The approach was not great either. Roop, again, one of these step-forward guys. And now I wonder if maybe my faith in the Giants is misplaced, because I also am worried about the offense. And I wonder if we should just be looking to score here. He was good, but not great. He walked too many batters. Man, maybe I need to shift in real time. 4.5 and 8. If that one is at a... And see, if we think the Giants might win, then we're getting the 9th frame. And maybe that works for the... Oh, the total jumped from 8 to 8.5. Where, like, I have an under now. Man, this beginning of the year is so fucking confusing sometimes. And again, I'm not at all ashamed to admit that. I want to see how ballparks are playing, how weather is, treating the ball and stuff. We've got wind out, but it's really not crazy. I'm not sure where this total is coming from. 8.5. I mean, I'm under, but we got overs. Again, right? Good, not to be oversimplifying things. But one way to take a look at your model against the book is, right, I got overs and I got unders. I'm over Chicago and the White Sox. I guess I have a few unders. Like maybe it smells to me like there's a little bit of a bullish bullpen bias in these results today. But anyway, I'll look into that. I test everything again. Everything's constantly being back tested and looped and everything to make sure I'm not fucking up. So model to the under. I like the Giants F5. And the market is laughing at me and to the over because it's moved. So I'm terrified of being under, of course, because I'm used to markets moving with our totals, right? That's kind of the CLV that we're looking for. It would be funny if this one does fall under, need closer to our original modeling. I could use a little validation, but I'm gonna go to San Fran first 5, grab my nuts and just kind of cope. Next up, Ryan Weathers and the Janks, minus 104 both ways in Seattle against Luis Castillo. I've got neutral reads here. Like I'm on percentages with the money line. We're in line with the total. The only point I would make here is the total is a flat 8. And feels like maybe we could get a 4-4. I mean, I like both these pitchers, but I like both the offenses as well. I mean, I, of course, like the Yankees. I want to see Weathers first. He's got, big-time ceiling. There's no doubt. But Castillo was coming off a great season. Mariners very good at pitching development. Can we actually get the Yankees getting the half run? You can. It's minus 155. It's almost like a rule. I like the Yankees getting the half run almost always, but I think I'm going to sit this one out. I have a slight, my personal slight lean was over. The model is right there and it's saying no. It's saying, and this is a perfect push. Neither total is over 4 where you're telling us, all right, maybe we get that 4-4. The model just far enough under to not want to push it over. Yeah, I'm going to just move it on. I'm going to pass. It's a full slate. You don't need action on every game. Next up, old man Justin Verlander. He's on the bump for the Tigres, leaving Detroit Rock City, heading out to the desert to face my boy, Mike Soroka, who definitely does not get enough love on a per inning basis. I think people LOL Mike Soroka. Look how good he is. It was excellent. The ERA sucks because he had a 68% left on base rate, 12 homer fly. But he had a 113 whip, and all the indicators are really strong. He struck batters out, 17.5 KBB, 44 ground ball, sub 7 barrel, 1.2 homer 9. Soroka was really good. I guess the public is in love with the Detroit offense in this one. They've been kind of horse shite so far. I've got it up on the board. They have a 582 team OPS, 202 team BA, just 1 homer, 1 steal. I mean, Mike Trout did that on his own in the first game alone. So Detroit offense not really humming right now. I think they're going to be very good. They have a lot of pieces I really like. I think against righties is when they're going to be good. Running theme for today. This is game 3 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Game 4 or whatever. Or they can finally you're going to break out. It's fucking 4 games. Like, who the hell knows? Mariners. We interested to see Mariners v. lefties here. Because they are striking out a ton. And the sample's a little too small to split. So I think maybe I like the Weathers K. I wonder where that is at. It's probably too high. It's probably like 5.5 or 6.5. I'm going to go bang out my projections in a minute. As soon as I get out, that'll be the first thing I do. Ryan Weather strikeouts. Where are you, you bastard? You bastard. 5.5 plus 119. I think that is the bet that I like. Weathers plus 6K. Give me the plus money on my first K prop. But Mariners strike out a ton this year, but that's carryover also, right? So these guys are striking out a ton, and Raleigh is fucking flailing and shit right now. He finally got a double or whatever, but he's flailing. They're flailing like fucking crazy. Here, hold on. Let's put a bow on that. You know what? This is actually helpful for me also. I never had such quick access to sheets. Hold on, I have OCD and I left 1,000 cells, so I can't do that. Okay, so now that we have the quick access, here's all the Seattle hitters with 10 plate appearances so far. Cal Raleigh, 55% K, 20 swing and strike. Julio Rodriguez, 33 K, 20 swing and strike. Luke Raley, 40% K, 21 swinging strike. Cole Young, 47 K. Oh my gosh. Only Brandon Donovan and Dominic Canzone and Randy Arozarena have zone contacts over 85. The rest are, 80 or below, and Raley is in the 60s. I mean, right, that's how you get it. So give me the Weathers case. And let's move this bitch on. We just hit 404 live viewers. Yo, appreciate you all. Make sure to like and retweet this bitch. We got to get in the face of this fucking Twitter algorithm. Support good people doing good work. There's also a YouTube channel, same name, Corked Stats. We could put your comments. Apparently, live stream comments are different from YouTube afterward comments. And apparently, live videos don't come up as videos. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, okay? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing my best. But it is out there. I do like the comment stuff. I'm going to bring those up in a second before we get out of here. Sorry, we're running a little bit long, but yo, man, I live for this shit, bro. I fucking live for this. So happy to come away with a bet on the Yankee side. Okay, now back to Verlander and Soroka. I don't know how the frick I went back to Seattle because I'm a moron. I don't know. I was thinking scoring, obviously, but the totals are up. The per inning stuff for Soroka makes me like the Arizona F5. That's kind of my sneaky play. The thing is, it's not listed right now. And I wonder if we might get a pitching change. People do tend to ask me about that. I do my very best. And also feel free to DM me if you see one. Sometimes I just don't see it. I don't have an alert set. But if I do see a change, I re-rack the stats in the model immediately. I can't control some people's your implied team total is wrong. Yeah, obviously it's going to change with the pitching changes. If you're going to change shit, Let's see if we could find an Arizona F5 since we're already freaking running long anyway. Because that's a bet we like. I'm going to mark it when it gets posted. I want it. Again, this might just be a bet that is becoming difficult to fucking find. My bookie's usually great with that. Hit me up for a referral. Arizona is plus 2.5 runs, plus 105. Oh, it's even, minus 115. You son of a bitch. Go figure. You son of a bitch. Did the actual line shift? Yeah, minus 118, minus 102. It did. Damn, I could have shot that CLV from the damn hip, you know? You know, I've been trying to angle on the CLV. The best way to do that is obviously to act early. However, the samples are really rough right now. It's like we're getting to the point where we want to begin to define the hitters and teams, but it's not enough. So that's kind of why I wait, and I'm getting that fucking itch right now. I tell you, man. I tell you. Damn. Funny that the public came around on it again. My gut was right a bit. I still think that move is the play. Damn, I actually froze on my end. But the last time that happened, the video didn't. So I'm going to just go through it. Oh, there I am. All right, last game, and let's get the fudge out of here. Thank you all for picking up what I'm putting down at the show. Is literally no one doing this? Is there a granular game-by-game breakdown anywhere? Can anybody point me to the show that does it so I don't have to work so fucking hard? Please support good people doing good work. The show is a massive labor of love. Support it. Sign up for the Substack. And at some point, this is going to get paywalled. Also, I pull the video or I pull the algo stuff. You know, I got to protect the people that do support me. So please, look at me shaking my hoo-has. You know? All right, last game. My boy, Parker Messick, is on the bump. And this is funny because I love Parker Messick. I fucking hate Roki Sasaki. I still couldn't get the Guardians over the Dodgers. That said, I've got them close enough. You gotta bet the Guards here. You have to. Now that's another one. Maybe it's just a late thing. I'm gonna refresh my bookie. My bookie's very thorough. There's a reason I love to use them because they actually have a single page F5 board, which no one else does anymore. Again, remember I mentioned shopping everything quick. DraftKings, you have to pick the game, go to first X innings, and then brrr, this has an F5 tab that brrr, one freaking thing like it would with the full game. You can open up two and keep them and look side by side, and you're moving faster. Now this I had to do to refresh because sometimes it's not, you know, things are not up and they end up getting posted. No. Oh yeah, look at that. Arizona, and they're up the late games. So it's just a little lag on the 10 p.m. stuff. Parker Messick plus 116. You would really like to get a better price than 116 on the guards. However, I've got plus 106. Very rarely are you going to get. It's very hard to achieve. Go do the fucking math yourself. I could actually, maybe I will post this behind the paywall. It's very hard to model for the public thumb, the public irrational love of favorites. And in a way, you don't want to account for that because that's the last like edge in sports betting, right? Is picking underdogs that nobody wants. People blindly pick the fucking Dodgers. Oh, the Guardians suck, right? The Guardians suck. Let's see. I don't even know. Do the Guardians suck? Guardians offense sucks. They fucking suck. But, you know, they're making good contact, not a lot of swing and miss. They're putting the ball in the air and pulling it, and Sasaki has been bad. So, like, if you're going to at least show something, maybe that'll be it, because he's been really bad. I think he may lose that rotation spot or end up back in the bullpen. Again, we'll see. He might come out and shove. Dodgers offense, of course, is awesome. They haven't even really hit their groove yet, and they're very, 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 very good. No surprise there. But I think the edge is in the pitching. I think Messick, very effective. He pitched to a 272, 131 whip. Again, the whip the whip was super high because he had a 359 BABIP. It's just outrageous. He had a 3.5% walk rate, sub 34 ball, plus 72 first strike. I mean, we love this shit. And all the ground balls, 25 hard hit, sub 1 homer 9. Messick, really, really dope stuff. And I'm not mistaken. I'm going to bring up Under the Hood because he's like my guys. You can tell the guys I get really excited about are the obvious guys that home leaguers want to pick up in their home leagues. Or, and if you play, I know it's not a fantasy show, but if you play CBS, oh, no, he's not a SPARP. Cantillo is the SPARP. Messick is a starter, and I drafted him anyway. But like in a 12-team league, yo, man, it's almost like you really have to like somebody if you're drafting them because there's so few, your roster, so few players. All right, Messick, I wanted to pop the hood really quick. Let's do a quick breakdown of Messick. You know what? These are kind of good. We kind of show off a little bit of the skills and nuance in the context pouring at your damn nose when you rock and roll with us. So Messick leads with the four-seamer. The velo is not great, but he's got the usage capped at 36% use. So it's a primary pitch, but he doesn't like force feed it, which we like. The movement profile, again, is really not great, and you could get a feel that he survives on the four-seamer despite bad stuff plus because of the very good changeup, right? And a lot of times, and this is my problem with trying to use a couple comments I'm going to get you in a minute. With trying to use stuff plus on breaking pitches individually is because for me, they're a function of the fastball, right? A good changeup can make a bad fastball good because they are in essence a combination. I only like to isolate stuff plus on the four-seamer. It's the most used, it's the most direct, and the most repeatable. So I guess be careful with stuff plus on breaking stuff. But for me, also be careful with guys whose four-seamers are not great. Again, I like the throttle usage, but it's also showing in the whiff. He has a 29% whiff rate on a four-seamer. There are guys with 98 and 115 stuff pluses that don't get those numbers, right? You got to be aware of whiffs. Sometimes outputs do matter. Four-seam whiffs is one of the biggest output numbers that there is. And he had a great X slug. He actually way outperformed the actual slug. The underpinning stuff is really good. Again, that changeup is filthy. Sub 290 X slug plus 31 whiff. I'm just over the moon with Parker Messick. That said, because you get a tougher fucking challenge than having to face the damn fucking Dodgers. So somebody out there is going to be saying Dodger, over. Someone else is be saying, oh, Cleveland team total. What is that, right? What is the Cleveland team total at? Gosh, we need a team total page. This is driving me freaking nuts, right? I gotta move fast. This is too freaking slow for me. Right, every damn site, you got to click on the individual game, and then you have to find it on its menu. DraftKings just doesn't want you to find anything. Now they have this freaking chug-a-lug fucking scrolling thing at the top. You could tell I'm triggered. I'm triggered because I get it. We're in competition with them, and that's why they don't want to help us, which is just an inherent problem. Why prediction markets are going to replace sports betting because they want you to win. Over time, that's going to make all the fucking difference. All right, so I found it the long way. Taking the long way home. All right, let's see. You freaking bastards. 3.5 minus 110 is the Cleveland line. Plus 116 is the F5 money line. You're getting the 9 innings because you're on the road. Let's see, Dodgers. Bullpen fully rested. They were off. No. I'm going to, in case Messick shoves, and remember the Dodgers are only human. Cleveland generally has a very good bullpen. I'm just trying to be very careful, speaking out of turn right now. Yeah, they've pitched well. So there's a world where the Dodgers just don't get it done. Messick goes 6 or 7 strong, and this is like a 3-1 or 2-0 even. So give me that Cleveland F5. And let's get. Are you freaking tired of me yet, or what? The answer is Unequivocally, no way, Johnny. Give it to us. Now I get to bring up the comments without blocking my face. Let's start at the beginning. I want to shout out everybody. Really means the world to me for you to be participating. If you listen back and your comment wasn't answered, I'm going to be dealing with them at the end. So we got my boy Brian Rose, big Johnny Stud. Happy Monday, my friend. Let's have a day. Says, talk about a sellout squad. Rockies a dog shit. Yeah, the sellout squad. It's funny, when I was talking about the Angels and the improvement, I of course I couldn't remember. The Rockies were those teams. So it sounds oversimplified, but it works. And I know it works because it's the feedback I get. People talk about the pitcher bully metric, right? Adding first strike to chase rate. Oh, he's a bully. Like, I know, he's a bully. And the sellout teams, they sell out. We got to go look. Make sure you look first. And don't, stick these narratives year over year. Again, I'm not betting right now because, I want to see it first. Oh, I love these the most. Sorry, Brian, but I love my numbers and value stuff. So we got Firebrain AI says, can get a 07.5 Chicago White Sox Miami. Whoa, let's freaking go. Is that right? Hold on, I want to make sure at least I'm noting this stuff. Hold on, I gotta note this. Oh, I'm gonna put Calcio. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, again, I always make sure to shop around. You have to shop around. What I didn't think of, again, why I love sharp people, the back and forth. I work alone. I work alone. It's you're gonna miss shit. I don't care what anybody says, and I make all these fucking mistakes in front of people. I'm so embarrassing sometimes. I'm such an embarrassment. That while I was calling out, trying to catch the CLV, and how they were only posting half-run alts, I didn't think to look at the damn price. So, let's go. Oh, Brian says, I would argue the Rockies are a step below the MPB. Yeah, word. Yeah, word. No doubt. No doubt. Oh, my God. Awesome. Then we got Ice. Bodega 5 says, John the GOAT. Yo, come on, player. Yo, that, honestly, I don't want to get too, mushy. This show is going very long. But I figure because I think about this in the content I consume, the shows that I make it into the 90th minute and the comments, I probably want all of it because I appreciate the work and the challenge, right? The honesty and everything that kind of comes with this thing of ours, For you to take your time and not use me means a lot. People get creators confused all the time. They're always thirsting for fucking engagement and shit. Yes, I'm trying to get you in the champagne room. I showed you the nipples. I maybe put a little something on a key and try to pipe you back into the back room. I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I give away a ton of free shit. And you get accustomed to people using you for that. And it's part of it. It's part of it. But again, I talk about time, right? It's the most important commodity we have. Go call your fucking family. You have a best friend that you don't talk to over dumb shit? Call that motherfucker. Guess what? The stubborn apology that you're refusing to make feels fantastic. It selfishly feels great. Rebuild. Build. Stop fucking destroying out there, build. So appreciate you, Ice Bodega. Back to back. 6 City Records, 8363 says, just thank you. Grazie. Grazie mille. Grazie to you too, my friends. Yo, you people are it, yo. Fucking charge, yo. So my hat's off to all of you. Thanks for picking up. We're put down here at Corked Stats. Fastest freaking show in MLB absolutely everywhere with your home slice. Big Johnny Stud. Check out the Substack. Find out what the hubbub is about. There's pinned samples of everything. You check out the IG. Some fucking slop stuff. nudes in bio. I don't know. What do you peoples want? Other than I'm going to save you $2 worth of time every week. So enjoy the games, enjoy the day. When we done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, winning feels a lot less like luck, yo. Peace out.